So welcome to our today's presentation. We are going to discuss about the margin and markup. These are some of the financial ratios in business. Now, markup is the ratio of the gross profit to cost of sales. It is given as markup is equal to the gross profit to cost of sales. Markup can also be given as a percentage, whereby it is the ratio of the gross profit over cost of sales times 100%. Markup, we are saying it is only used with the cost of sales. So sometimes you may find that in an information you are given, there are sales, maybe other elements, but ensure that you have the cost of sales so that you can use the markup. Something which I would like also to ask you to remember is from the trading account, the gross profit plus the cost of sales will give you the net sales. This one is equal to the net sales. Net sales. Now, margin. Margin is the ratio of the gross profit to net sales. Net sales. Remember, when we are talking about the markup, it was the gross profit to the cost of sales. Something which is coming out clearly is that the gross profit doesn't change. The gross profit doesn't change. Gross profit to the cost of sales or markup, then gross profit to the net sales for the margin. Net sales can also be called the turnover. So sometimes when you interact with the word turnover, know that it means the net sales in a business. Now, margin is equal to the gross profit over the net sales times 100%. Margin can be given as a ratio, a fraction, or as a percentage. The margin is only used with the net sales. With the net sales, that is what you need to understand, that net sales can only be used when margin is provided. Now, let's discuss about the relationship between markup and margin. Now, since markup and margin relate to the same gross profit, it means they are related to one another. I want us to consider these formulas, which we had already discussed, that markup is equal to the gross profit over the cost of sales. Margin also is equal to the gross profit over the net sales. Now, I want us to know that from the first, if the numerator, which is the gross profit over the cost of sales, what happens if you add? There was somewhere, sometimes back, I asked, what do you know about the gross profit plus the cost of sales? We said if we add them, they give us the net sales. Now, coming to margin, we have the gross profit over net sales. What do we know about net sales minus the gross profit? We are getting the cost of sales. Let's proceed. Therefore, given margin, we can get markup and vice versa. This is done by subtracting the numerator of a margin from its denominator to get the markup. For example, if margin is 1/4, we can do that. If margin is 1/4, this one simply means that the numerator is the gross profit and the denominator is the net sales. Then we can get the markup. We can get the markup. How do we get the markup? Markup is the gross profit over the cost of sales by having the gross profit over 4, which is the net sales, minus the gross profit, which was 1 from the numerator is here. We have said markup will be 1 over 4, which represented the net sales minus the gross profit to get the cost of sales. So 1 over 3 is the markup. Alternatively, if markup is 1 over 3, now that is what we have here. The first one, if markup is 1 over 3, markup, we know markup is given by the gross profit over the cost of sales, the cost of sales. So if we have it as 1 over 3, then from here we can get the margin. The margin, how do we proceed? We simply add the numerator and the denominator. So margin is equal to the gross profit over the net sales. And net sales we know can as well be given as gross profit over cost of sales plus the gross profit, which is the same as in this case, this is our gross profit and this one is our cost of sales. So we'll have gross profit still maintains 1, then the cost of sales 3 plus the gross profit that. So we'll have 1 over 4, and that is what we have done here. So basically, that is how markup and margin is related. But what you need to ask yourself is which information have you been provided with? If they have provided you with the cost of sales and they have given you the markup, then you need to manipulate it. You need to change the margin to the markup so that you can use the cost of sales. But if you have got the net sales and they have given you the margin, if they have given you the net sales and they have given you the markup, then you need to manipulate your markup to margin. Then you can use the net sales in order to get the cost of sales. Now, all this can be used in drawing the trading account. Let us proceed and see how we can apply them in trading account. We have an example here. The information below relates to Otoyo traders. We have the opening stock purchases, purchases, returns, closing stock, and markup. Then they require us to prepare trading account for the period ended that. Now, how do we prepare the trading account? We know that trading account has got on the debit side we have got the cost of sales, which is given by the opening stock plus the purchases plus the carriage inwards if given, less the closing, less the purchases returns or return outwards less closing stock. Now, in this case, are we able to get the cost of sales? Yes, we have the opening stock, which is there 100,000 plus purchases, which is 600,000 minus we don't have the carriage inward, so we are not going to provide for it, minus the purchases returns, which is 20,000 minus closing stock, which is 80,000. All this will give us 600,000 as our cost of sales. And since we have got the markup, then I think we can do it. It is easier because markup as a percentage markup from whatever we've discussed, markup is the ratio of the gross profit to the cost of sales. So as a percentage, this implies that 20 over 20% over 100 is equal to the gross profit over the cost of sales. So we need to get the cost of sales. If we simplify, we'll have 1 over 5 is equal to the gross profit over the cost of sales, which we already calculated to be 600,000. If we cross multiply, you'll have your gross profit is equal to 120,000. Now, after having the gross profit as 120,000, we can now get the net sales. In order for us now to grow the trading account, net sales is equal to the cost of sales plus the gross profit. In this case, our cost of sales was 600,000 plus the gross profit, which is 120,000. Now, if you add everything, you'll get 720,000, and this one will be our net sales. So if we have everything, what is remaining now is to move to the account. Now we need to do this. What's the name of the business? Otoyo, right? Otoyo Traders trading account for the period ended 31st of January 2023. Then you draw that. Then on this side we'll have the cost of sales, and cost of sales. How do we get the cost of sales? Just from the formula, we have the opening stock. Opening stock, we have it as 100,000. All of these are in shillings. Purchases, we have 600,000. We have purchases returns, which we are subtracting purchases returns. How much is that? We are subtracting 20,000. We can have it also less, this is less purchases returns, less closing stock of 80,000. That one also we enclose. Then what do we get there? We get the cost of sales at 600,000. If you do that well, already we have done it here, we just transfer it there. Then on the other side, we have got the net sales. What's the net sales? The net sale is 720,000. Now, what's the balancing figure here? The account is going to balance 720,000. And now we have the gross profit. On the debit side, gross profit carried down of how much? Of 120,000. And gross profit on the credit side, gross profit below the total, brought down of 120,000. And this is our account. That is the trading account. We cannot do this without getting the net sales and without getting the gross profit. And that is why they provided us with a markup. Now, let's proceed and look at an example. So when they give us the margin. Now, the following information relates to Nyangaro traders. We have the opening stock here. We have sales returns. We have sales. We have the closing stock and the margin. Now, from here, we can get the net sales. But now that they have given us the margin, we are asking ourselves, margin goes with the net sales. Are we able to get the net sales? Yes, it is possible to get the net sales. Net sales is equal to the sales minus sales returns, which is 1 million minus 50,000. We have 950,000. Now this is the net sales. So the moment we have the net sales, you can get the gross profit. So margin as a percentage 25 over 100, which is equal to the gross profit over the net sales. This one reduces 1 over 4 is equal to the gross profit over the net sales. We have it as 950,000. From here, what do you get as your gross profit? After you have gotten your gross profit, you can subtract your gross profit from the net sales. Net sales we have as 950,000. So in order to get the cost of sales is equal to the net sales minus the gross profit, which already you have gotten here. So after getting the cost of sales, you need also to get purchases. Purchases in a business is necessary. You get the purchases, and once you've gotten the purchases, then now you can draw your account. And how will you get the purchases? Remember, we have the cost of sales. Cost of sales is equal to the opening stock, which is given, plus the purchases, less closing stock. Now, the cost of sales you have also the opening stock, you also have the closing stock. From there you get the purchases. Then once you have the purchases, now you can now proceed and draw your trading account. You can proceed and draw your trading account. Now that is how we can use margin and markup.